try to get my phone to stay right here. Wait for anybody to join. But if not, that's cool, because this is kind of just the beginning of what I want to share when it comes to things that I've been researching. So I'm trying to get this phone to cooperate. But so tonight is a new moon, and new moons are all about setting your intentions. And when I started doing my research, I knew that I would have to delve into something that was a little bit more in the metaphysical world, which would be tarot cards. So I went and got a deck, and it all is a really long, kind of crazy story, so I'm going to skip it for right now. But basically, I got this deck called the Wildwood Tarot, which is what I'm going to be doing tonight. And it's really great. And the author of it, he actually has this thing, so that's what I wanted to start with, is that he wrote about it. And he says that there's many bridges to our subconscious, whether it's reading tea leaves or meditating, but the actual activity itself has no special magic power. It only acts as a focus for the subconscious to allow the inner voice to have its say. So whenever you're doing a tarot spread or anything, it's not that it's magical and it's telling your future or anything. Like, no, it's just the little things that show up, or maybe the things that are written. Maybe it kind of spawns a thought in your mind. And maybe it's that very first initial thought that comes to your mind whenever you hear something that kind of makes you think, you know, maybe that applies to you. Which, yes, some things are written, especially when it comes to astrology and things are written in a way that could pertain to a lot of people, but it's done so intentionally. And whatever resonates with you, whatever that very first thing that comes to your mind, that's that inner subconscious level of yourself that's kind of coming through to have it say. So when I started researching all of these things, if you guys don't know me and know what I've been researching for years now, is the more metaphysical aspects of religions in general. So whenever it came to doing the tarot cards, I figured you should probably have something that was measurable and trackable. That's scientific, right? So I found these spreads from littleredtarot.com. There's a lot of good spreads on there. I highly recommend. She's really just, they're basic, but she has a new moon spread and a full moon spread. So for literally the past 4 or 5 years, I've been doing a new moon spread and a full moon spread, and then tracking the correlations as they apply in my own life. Now, initially I started doing this in efforts to disprove that that's just basically bullshit. But I can't. It's really interesting, and the whole like having your inner subconscious thing, conversation within your own mind, kind of spawned me to keep trying and keep going with it. So yeah, this is it. And since it is a new moon tonight, moving into tomorrow, I figured how about let me just go out of my comfort zone, do this on Facebook Live, and share a new moon tarot spread with everybody. So whatever comes up, I'm going to shuffle them in front of everybody. This is the Wildwood deck. I'm going to shuffle them and lay them out and give you guys a message. And I'm going to read it straight from the book. No bias, no interpretation. I can see people that are watching this. So in efforts to just knock all that out, this will be just the messages for y'all. So I'm going to shuffle them. And just as I'm shuffling, a new moon is the time that you set intentions, that you release patterns that you don't want to carry, because it's the lunar cycle. That's what the new moon and the full moon is, and why I decided to utilize that time frame to track everything. So yeah, and one just flew out, and apparently that's a thing, so let's see what that one is. And it's the Green Man, and I can totally look at that one up, but me and my friend were just talking about it, and it came up earlier, and so that's just funny. I'm gonna stick it back in, and we're gonna read that again. I'll remember, promise, because it came up, and honestly, with the way things go, it might even show up in the reading. So, new moon tarot spread. So you can see that I'm shuffling, and I'm cutting them, and we're just gonna go with it. There's no right or wrong way to do this, so I'm just kind of letting you guys see how this goes. So, okay, we're just gonna stop there. All right, so the first one is where you stand now, and I'm just gonna lay them out, and then we're gonna go back and read them. So where you stand now is the Stag, and I'm gonna show all of these. something to leave behind, something to receive, something to learn. I'm looking at my little spread. I have it pulled up over here because I don't have it all memorized yet. So something to learn, something to give, your hopes and dreams, and the secret special skill. So a lot of other tarot readers look at the one on the bottom and say that that applies, and it's the Five of Bows, which is empowerment. So that's kind of cool, and maybe that's a message for me doing this because it's like an empowerment thing. I don't know. We can look it up. But we're going to start with the actual reading. So where you stand now is number 8, the stag. He's like super manly, hanging out, big deal guy. So let me search for it. On a personal level, some kind of adjustment or interaction has taken place. The key word here is responsibility. We must, as individuals, constantly observe the rules and regulations of society, and those can fluctuate as the views and knowledge of civilization change. Whether it's a political or a moral level, we subconsciously know when a realignment of our perception is due. This is time to welcome the justice that has arrived with the coming of spring and the fire of creation. Face the coming season with honesty, integrity, and trust to right and appropriate action. So I feel like that can be applicable, obviously, but political, moral levels, the realignment of our perceptions, responsibility for that, I feel like that's a thing. So the thing to leave behind is the Two of Stones, the challenge. Now we all go through challenges in our life, but I feel like this is really cool that we get to leave behind the challenge. So Two of Stones, because I said I'm going to read them straight from the book, zero bias that way. So Two of Stones. So many challenges and rivalries are born of insecurity or subconscious issues with peers and colleagues. Usually it's these emotions rather than actual malice or personal ill will that dictates a rival's mistrust or undermining of your efforts. Sorry, this thing is like making noises. There's so much emphasis placed on a show of power or wealth, but it's often a perceived position or status that inflames jealousy rather than the reality of a situation. Holding your ground and defending your position at such times can be achieved by keeping in touch with pure and positive motivations and holding on to personal integrity and sincerity. Some competition and honest differences of opinion can be productive and even beneficial, but remain clear and focused on your objectives and stay firm in your ethical efforts to proceed with the plan or project. So challenges and staying clear, but this is the thing that we're leaving behind moving into this. So yes, staying clear and focused, gotten through it. So moving on, because the thing to receive, and I love that it kind of plays on it, is happiness. So we're leaving behind the challenge and moving into a place of happiness. I find that really super cool. So I don't feel like it has like a whole lot to read it, but we're still going to go to the book because non-biased. But 10 of Vessels, happiness. And the vessels are cups. So in tarot cards, you've got the major arcana cards and minor arcana. Major arcanas, there's, I don't even get me lying on how many there are, but they're very specific ones, and it kind of represents the main archetypes of human characteristics. But then the minor ones are like how you have diamonds, hearts, spades, and whatever. In regular decks, that's the minor ones. And so vessels are like mostly emotions. It's the water element. So the 10 of Vessels, happiness. A deep and profound calm of true and lasting happiness flowing through your life. A sense of homecoming, safety, and beauty shines from an individual that lights others' lives and is infectious to everyone. Healing rays of affection and warmth radiate from your inner core. For those in love, the joy is in sharing of tender and intimate support and understanding. Giving love and seeing that love reflected in the eyes of the one you care for is the most powerful and healing magic known to mankind. For those who thrive on happiness derived from the fulfillment of ambitions and goals, happiness is fueled by a sense of affirmation of self-worth and ideals. So no greater act of humanity can be achieved than by showing the way and opening a person's heart to the possibility of happiness. However much we love, however much we achieve, we empower ourselves to be emotionally alive by accepting that the circuit of life requires giving as well as receiving. As we revel in the bliss of the journey, we remember with gratitude the patience, wisdom, and synchronicity that brought the blessing into our lives. So moving through the challenge into happiness. And the thing to learn is the king of vessels, the heron. So another thing is the vessels, so emotions. And it's the king of emotions. So the king of that vessel suit being the heron. And the heron represents a deep belief in fairness, honesty, and honor. It's the profound depths of your character that are once stirred into action carry all before it. However, your admiration of self-control can sometimes make you appear too rigid. So whenever you have the king and the queen in this suit, it breaks it down here to have like reading points as a person, an aspect or process, an event or happening. So it breaks it down so this can apply to multiple different things. So as a person, this may be a way shower and a mentor whose tolerance gives them a peaceful demeanor. They're often the catalyst that helps groups to gel together because they give a place to each individual. The consideration from others derives from an innate compassion, but it can also be someone that's inclined to milk situations for pity. So it's keeping a broad-minded perspective, offering support, an art show, creative display, support network. So it asks these questions like, where's tolerance needed? Who's depending upon your support? And what's your duty here? So with the being what to learn, so maybe we're having to learn tolerance and where we can support others more. That's always something that's helpful to learn. And I'm kind of wanting to break the stereotypes when it comes to tarot cards of them being evil and scary. Like, no, they're still good messages, and I feel like they can apply to anybody at any time. So the something to give, what we're giving up, like you offer it to the world as you go, is the Seven of Bows, which is clearance. So through our clearing, through that healing, the moving past the challenge into that happiness, is basically what this is saying. We're offering that clearance to the world. We're just giving it up as we keep going. So I'm going to look up in the book because keeping it on the appropriate level, I suppose. And I see some people are still watching, so this is going to be like on there forever. So yay, my comfort zone broken. So it says a time to make decisions and choose priorities. Focus on what you really need in your life and what it's time to dispose of and cut away, especially if it's worn out and broken and no longer meets your needs on this journey. Because all things must change and evolve, and however well prepared or carefully constructed your tools and skills might be, new challenges and obstacles may require rethinking and relearning. These things wear out, but by allowing the passing of the old and clearing of the ground to take place with a welcoming and acceptance of change, the feelings of relief and aid the healing process, giving comfort. Sorry, I'm reading these and I stumble over my words. But offering that clearance to the world as we go is only beneficial. It's only aiding because things do change. We do have to change what we're doing, where we're going, all the time, even if we don't want to. So the hopes and dreams is this 10 of arrows, the instruction. And this is one of the cards, and I'm just going to say, like, not any bullcrap at all, but this card doesn't really have a specific meaning because it's basically just instruction. How the older of our lives instruct the younger, and how we are here to help the other ones along their journeys, whether it's siblings or family or anybody younger, just that instruction, that passing of knowledge onto another, that's the instruction. And that's the hopes and dreams. I know that that's applicable for me because I definitely love teaching others about crazy types of things that they never heard about, especially even science stuff. I want to be a teacher. So that instruction card, that's the hopes and dreams of where we're going. So our secret special skill is the last card, the 7. And it's the Knight of Arrows, the hawk, which is one of my favorite things ever. I love the hawk. The hawk's really super important to me. And this card represents our super special skill. So let's look it up. What's our special skill? So the Knight of Arrows. So he's a quicksilver messenger of fate. The hawk helps and supports you to see through layers of doubt and uncertainty to the problem at the heart of the matter. Be swift and subtle and use your common sense to progress. So as a person, it can represent a champion who rises to defend and uphold beliefs for themselves or on behalf of others. They have clear views and opinions and make a good advocate for those who have no voice. a friend who's never downhearted, but always energetic and spontaneous. It's also having vigilance as you go through the process, maybe struggling with ideological compliance, or maybe even revolting against that. It's like a cause that you support, some speedy turns of events, decisions that have to be made. I mean, the clearance thing was all about decisions. But it asks these questions: in the depths of doubt, what do you hold on to strongly? What do you need to stand up for? And where might you be wrongly informed? But see that where you might be wrongly informed, it's like helping support you to see through layers of doubt and uncertainty to the problem at the heart of the matter. That's our secret special skill, is using our clarity, using our own innate knowledge, our own inner knowing to see through those layers of doubt and uncertainty. Because with all the stuff going on in the world, whether it's fake news or all that stuff, I mean, really we can harp on all those subjects. But seeing through that doubt, seeing through that uncertainty, and seeing the heart of the matter, like the actual issue, that's what we all need. And it's kind of cool that that could be our special skill moving into this new lunar month. I should have checked the calendar to see when the full moon is, because that's the cycle of things. So with the new moon, you're setting intentions and making your decisions to go and carry with you into the next month. So that's our progress. So how I wanted to do this one is these cards. And then I also have these Kuan Yin Oracle cards. And I was just going to pull one because they're very long and in-depth, but they're beautiful messages. And for me, this is another one of those decks that kind of just showed up randomly. But I honestly feel the way it's written, like if you guys know me coming from a Christian background and stuff, I definitely still hold to God and how important that is in my life. So these messages, I mean, whatever belief you hold to, there's no right or wrong way in that for me. I feel like they are all the same thing, that divine presence of the universe. I really feel like the way these are written is kind of like God speaking to me. So I'm just going to pull one card for the message from the Kuan Yin Oracle for you guys for this month. So fly out, that'd be great. We're gonna go with this one. Well, it's a pretty good one. And it says, and it's perfect timing too, because it's the beginning of the harvest season. It's number 31, the Harvest Mother watches over me. And I know it's backwards on here when I'm holding these up, but you guys can still see the picture. So Harvest Mother watches over me. And I'm going to read just the little part of the book because it has like pages and pages, and my phone is letting me know that my battery's getting low. So thank you guys for watching this too, by the way. Like, this is really uncomfortable for me because this is like completely going against every bit of my comfort zone because of the stigma that's attached with tarot cards and everything, which is also why I wanted to share this. I've been researching this for years at this point, and I find it very intriguing and wanted to share, and what's better than doing so in the new moon. Okay, so the Harvest Mother watches over me. And it's, again, it's written in a way like as if the divine presence is speaking to you. I watch over you whilst you gaze within, for the time has come when you're best to gather your energy and direct it to your inner world. So much has been happening around you and within you, so much that it needs time and attention now to be distilled, integrated, and digested. It'll bring you greater peace and a sense of completion to do this now. It's time to harvest your emotional world to be ready to gain the rich wisdom of your experiences. Then you shall be ready for us to begin again for another chapter in your life journey, wiser, stronger, and ready, together. And it goes on. There's like literally pages more, and I'm not going to read all that to you guys because I will stumble over my words a lot. But that's really beautiful, especially if we're going with the entire spread and the entire reading. The energy of the stag and going through that life journey and all those difficulties and moving from the challenges into happiness and seeing through that uncertainty and doubt, offering your clearance, giving instruction. I mean, all of it going into that next chapter, and it's the harvest season. So it's all about reaping what you've sowed throughout the year. I feel like it's kind of applicable, and I wonder if you guys got any messages. I'm going to grab my phone and see, because right now it's just showing me like people that are watching, and I'd like to see. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. I definitely would like to hear if you have any, but I just kind of wanted to share that. So I guess that is, oh, thanks, Andy. I look a hot mess because I taught a yoga class tonight, but oh yeah, also I haven't really officially said anything about that yet, but I moved back home to Kentucky, and oh, hey guys, and yeah, I kind of just took a step back so I can start writing down some of this research, doing these things. You guys know, if you guys know me, I want to do website podcasts, express this information in a way that's more understandable, because a lot of it has a whole lot of stigma surrounding it. And yeah, I just kind of want to break that. So definitely, yeah, I'm here in Kentucky doing this stuff, pursuing my life's passion, entering my next chapter. So this made a whole lot of sense for me. And yeah, Jonah, yeah. The reading that I did right now was for everybody live. So that's kind of it. And I do have another deck that I was going to pull one card, but I kind of skipped it. But I can pull one. But it's a deck called Whispers of Love. So it's going to be a love card. If you guys want that, I can pull one. I wish I had a phone stand. That'll be my next investment. But yeah, anybody that's in Kentucky, or where my hometown is and stuff, absolutely. Okay, everybody's saying do it. I got it. My service here is kind of crappy too because I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I think there's a time delay there. But I actually am starting to teach yoga classes in Russellville. I taught my first one tonight, so Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock. Shirley, if you're still watching, you can come and take a class now. Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock at Quick Fit, and then now they just asked me to do a daytime one too, so I'll be doing a 10 o'clock one there too. Pull one of the Whispers of Love card. So, no. So, Whispers of Love card. They're very simple, very straightforward, very loving. And the artwork on these are phenomenal. So I'm going to try to hold it up really good. I've actually taken pictures of these cards and use them as my phone background. Don't judge me for that because they're really pretty. You'll see. Okay, so a Whispers of Love card for everybody. I feel like this one wanted to come out. And it is have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. And it does have a little book, and it goes on to a little bit more. What number is this? Number 12. Have faith. When we truly believe that things will work out, that faith will confidently see us through. The angels are with you. This is something that you can have complete faith in. Knowing simple truths will give you the answers that you're seeking. Love is an act of faith. So, there's that one. I think that one's a really pretty one too, because we do have to have faith in all of this stuff. So, any other questions? Anything at all? Because this is something that I think I'm actually going to start offering, because I've been doing this now for about 4 or 5 years, kind of in secret. So I'm going to start offering readings. I've done readings for like my friends and stuff, and the way you guys can see, like even if you didn't watch the beginning of this, you can totally watch the beginning, but what kind of got me into it and stuff initially. But yeah, I guess it's a different approach. I'm not trying to like tell you your future or anything, but yeah, I can actually do readings and stuff. I have a whole bunch of spreads, a bunch of different decks. So I'm going to probably start doing that, start my like page and stuff about that, and also selling my rocks and stones and crystals, because the whole geology thing, I've got way too many rocks and I just moved and they're really heavy and they need new homes. So y'all can stay tuned for that. I'll probably have more information about it. But yeah, I guess that's about it. think I'm ready for bed. Anybody have any more questions? Because, like, this is the stuff that I study. But if not, I'm going to have more videos about this, talking about some of the crazy, crazy stuff that I study, and how it could be applicable. So, it's what I do, or what I'm going to do. What I do now. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions, send me a Facebook message if you want a reading, or you're curious about that, curious to know a little bit more about that. Let me know, send me a message. I'll be here. And I hope you guys have a great night and new moon blessings into your next chapter of your life. And yes, Jonah, I can. I don't know if you can see my table, but I have a few different types of decks here. So whenever I like close this video, you'll be able to go back and see the entire reading that I did for everybody. And there's like 2 or 3 different types I use. Well, especially with the other one I pulled. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. It was really cool. Talk to you later.